Don't ask him that.
Hey guys, what's it going? I mean, how's it going?
What it do?
This is live too.
What it do?
What's it hitting for,
Okay.
players?
No do-overs.
Where did you
Okay,
dump?
cool.
Hey guys,
Take us away.
we're going to be talking about the coronavirus today. Just a few things, not any fear mongering or anything like that. Just some education, necessary education about it's not just the flu. Why you should actually care that it wasn't a pandemic. A few days ago when WHO announced it, 3 months late, it was a pandemic in the moment it got to outside of China, and what you should and shouldn't be doing to prepare for the eventual collapse of the society. So let's get into it.
And not to turn into a zombie.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that, I mean, okay, so this is an unpublic strain, but it will be released in 2 weeks for zombification.
Nice.
I just got a notification, guys, relating to the coronavirus in San Antonio at my girlfriend's hospital.
Oh fuck.
Yep, positive right now.
Oh fuck.
Yep.
Great timing. Wow.
Perfect.
Good timing, man.
Yep, that's what happened. See, that's the thing. So
Poor guy.
we're gonna actually jump into it. So it's some general facts about why you should care. So the flu has a 0.1% death rate, and the coronavirus has a 3.4% death rate. So that's 34 times higher. It's not just the flu. It is insane. Now, see, the thing is, the flu, it's like, oh, but it kills more people. One, wrong. Two, the flu has been around longer. So something that's had, decades to dilly-dally around compared to something that's had basically 3 months. So the thing with the flu is because it's relatively the same each year, we have some immunity to it. And we have the vaccines that come out, the flu shots and whatever. So we are prepared for the flu. We're not prepared for the coronavirus. It's a completely novel virus. So if it infects you, you're not going to have the same type of immune response because you won't have your antibodies won't know how to deal with it like it does the flu.
Yeah.
There is an up to 30-day incubation period. However, 99% show symptoms within 40 days. So that means that basically, let's say 40 days because 99%, you can have it for up to 2 weeks basically and not know that you have it, but still be spreading it to other people. And that's how it spread. It spread because China's a fucking idiot. But beyond that,
To be fair, they did really well to contain it outside of Wuhan. Like they did things that a lot of other countries aren't doing.
well,
But we'll get into that. We'll get
Life's
into
not fair.
I mean, there are a lot of things that a communist regime can do that the rest of the world can't.
Yeah.
Like literally barricading. Did you see the news about how Kim Jong-un shot, not Kim Jong-un himself, but how the first coronavirus patient or case identified in North Korea was shot immediately?
Wow.
So yeah, that's how the communists deal with it.
That's crazy.
So just a general timeline. I'll share my screen for this one.
Ooh.
Oh, Lisa.
Question from Lisa.
Ask the question.
Do you think that testing should have been more available here in the States a month ago? And how much do you think it has set us back, and how large will the repercussions be?
Was it in the States a month ago?
No, it was very recently.
Oh, it probably was. It just
it was
wasn't reported.
Probably.
No, I think I saw it the other day. I was just watching a video on my phone where it's now it's free testing. I don't know how recent that is. I think that was just some days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is it is kind of creating a new problem because like everyone's kind of gonna rush in to get tested, and that in UK how we're dealing with it is we're being told to self-isolate. Like if you think you have the symptoms, don't come in. But obviously if you're telling people to come get tested, you're creating that kind of problem of mass
You're creating bottlenecks.
amalgamation. Yeah,
Mm.
so you're
People
creating
can't get
another
in.
problem, kind of.
There's more fear. The fear increases. More people are like, oh, I can't get tested by a doctor. They start panicking and they go and buy more
Yeah.
toilet paper.
Yo, the toilet paper thing, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, we bought
Yeah.
wet wipes like smart people.
Wait,
So can
web,
you-
Some people are buying toilet.
Whoa, hold
some people
on,
are buying paper towels. Sorry,
Shut up.
I need
some
to
people are buying
clarify.
paper towels. You know the long like roll of paper towels.
Yeah.
And then like chopping it in half and then the two.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
They're
That's
also
fair.
more rough.
Sorry.
So
I
if
need to
you're cool with
clarify
getting
with what Leon
blood.
said. Leon, you said you buy wet wipes,
Yeah, and
like to replace toilet roll, toilet
Well,
Yeah,
tissue.
how do you take the thing
Well,
off the screen?
not to replace it. That's a good observer question. No, so that we don't use it to replace toilet paper. Well, like we still have toilet paper.
Right,
We didn't
that's
go
what-
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to clarify. I thought you were saying use
got
that.
I got an OI system for you. That's what I do.
Yeah, we need to get some wet wipes.
So-
Antibac to
So
actually.
this is. Can y'all see my screen?
No, I cannot.
We can now.
Ooh, there you go. Dang.
Okay.
Getting ST
So-
up. Yeah.
So this is called a logistic function. What this does is this actually models exponential growth, right? So things don't grow in the real world exponentially without limit. There is some sort of limit, as you can see. It starts growing exponentially here, but then right here, this is called the inflection point when it starts reaching maximum capacity. So how that works is that there are basically a finite number of us that can be infected, and so at some point, you know, if you get in contact with someone and you have with someone who has the virus, and then you also have the virus, you're not going to get double virus. So that's why it starts. That's why it starts flattening out. What we want to happen is we want something like this to happen, where we go from really high cases and really fast to less and slower. And we're going to get into how to do that and what that's, you know, the economic ramifications, the strain, the health system. We're going to get into all of that.
Practical ways to make that happen.
Yeah. Right now, though, we're going to talk about the timeline, just exactly how it spread, where, and
So we're making the curve flat. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we need.
Like
we
the world.
want to flatten the curve. And we're going to do that.
Yeah,
Just like the world.
some countries have been really good at doing that. Like we mentioned China, but Taiwan has been really good at doing that. Just in how quick these countries are kind of quarantining people,
Yeah.
checking them. Like as soon as people come through the airport, like they're checking them. If they test positive, they're isolated immediately. It is kind of scary, but at the same time, it's that kind of proactive kind of case finding and
Yeah.
really clamping down on it. It's just proactive.
Yeah.
Proactively doing it.
Yeah. The thing is that the U.S. is actually going to be probably the worst first world country to actually be in this situation to deal with this.
Yeah, man. I was saying this to someone. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was actually saying that to someone.
Yeah, the Asian countries have it best. U.S. is worst, and then it's Europe. They're a little bit better, and then the Asian countries they really have it best. So we really have to do what we can to not fucking buy all the toilet paper at the stores. Okay, so what we're going to talk about here is I'm just gonna go through this timeline with y'all. Cleveland.com news coronavirus timeline. And this is just to give you a sense of an idea of this part right here on the curve, the ramping up of the spread, and so that you can use then this information to have at least somewhat of an accurate projection of what's going to happen, but also to not have to worry so much and sort of feel like you're in the dark.
Right.
So first things first, China reported a cluster of pneumonia cases associated with the something seafood wholesale market in Wuhan, Hebei province. Okay, and then it gets closed for environmental sanitation and disinfection.
Happy New Year.
Who asks for information to assess the risk? The case number grows in China, with 11 severely ill. The Chinese officials' form is a new form of coronavirus. The CDC established COVID-19 incident management system. Now, it should be said that the coronavirus that's not actually its name. COVID-19 is its name. Coronavirus is a
looks like a corona, right?
The flu is a type of coronavirus, you know.
Oh.
But it's not that. Coronavirus is just the type of virus that it is.
No, dude, it's called coronavirus because it came from the beer.
There are idiots that are not buying coronavirus beer because I don't think we should be having beer anyways. But like,
shares in Corona did drop. That is true.
Right,
it did drop. Like, obviously, people. Yeah,
shares are dropping everywhere though. Everything.
People are so dumb, man.
People are not investing. People are playing it safe. They're keeping everything inside.
Yeah, we'll talk about the economic implications because I am very into the economics of things. So in the U.S., Center for Disease Control and Prevention advises clinicians to watch, don't be stupid. China confirms the first death on January 11th. And then Thailand reports the first confirmed case of the coronavirus.
Did you say Thailand?
Yeah, I did. I mispronounced it. So that's on the 13th of January. On the 15th, Japan reports the first confirmed case.
Damn, look at that speed.
Yeah, look at that speed. It was at this point right here that I knew that it was gonna infect everything because
you have to like times the effect by like 100 at that point.
Yeah, because we had already basically seen what it could do in Japan, or we were starting to see it, and it's like that. That's just gonna replicate itself everywhere else, and we're not ready. No one's ready. No one's going to take this seriously until people start dropping dead. People are going to say flu, which they did. They're not going to take it seriously. And now, it's too late to start taking it seriously. Prevention is the best cure.
Yeah, for real. Italy and Spain and France today, I think they've imposed lockdowns and stuff. So.
That's good. Italy should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, Italy. Yeah, exactly. So this is like after the fact that it's exploded.
Yeah, it's already too late. Now you're trying to not keep things
to pull this back to Lissa's question. So if we had tested a month ago, would we be able to lower the numbers quicker?
If we were
most of us assumed it wasn't really here. What's going on there?
No, I don't think if we were more capable of testing that it would have been better, because the whole thing it has to be social acknowledgement. If people don't take this seriously, then it's going to spread because people are the vectors here. People are the people that are spreading it.
True, people are.
If everyone's going out and getting the virus and giving everyone else the virus, it doesn't matter.
We're in the tribe.
People are classified as having the virus.
Yeah, true.
So until the people start SF panicking about this, that it gets it starts building traction, and then people go and buy all the toilet paper because they're having double-digit IQ.
Right.
True. You want to know something really scary that like I realized today, just talking to my friend, because here we're just kind of doing the whole you want to self-isolate yourself, self-quarantine yourself if you have it. So because of that, people aren't going to come in to get diagnosed, and because of that, we're going to lose the health organizations will lose all the data about who has corona because when no one's getting diagnosed. So it's kind of scary now because like we're not even going to get like information regarding it. So it's very interesting. Just it's throwing it out there. It's a very interesting situation to be in.
Yeah,
now we're going to be in the dark.
The people that don't have like 103 fevers or previous chronic conditions or whatever, they're not gonna, you know, go into the doctor or the hospitals and be like,
Mm.
I'm dying. You know,
No,
they're
even if like no, exactly. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically agreeing with what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's
So
fucked.
15th, Japan reports its first case. On the 20th, Korea and the United States confirmed the first case. At this point, I was really keeping up with the news for my local area, and we're gonna get into why you should do that later on. But I was really looking. I'm like, all right, if it gets anywhere, if it's in a state even next to Texas, I'm immediately going out and buying supplies because I knew this was gonna happen. It's just a matter of time.
Bro, you were saying like to be fair, like in the chat, like you like from the start, you were like, guys were fucked, and then we were all like, bro, like it's fine, man. And then you know what kind of got me on board? I watched a Bill Gates YouTube video where he said
What's up, Benjamin?
exactly what he said exactly what you're saying, but he said it in a TED talk like years ago, and he said he was basically like, guys, like we aren't very well prepared for this stuff. Like Ebola kind of messed us up, and he even predicted, he was like, the next time we have a virus that, unlike Ebola, is maximally contagious when the symptoms are not showing, we're fucked. And like he called it, and I watched that video and I was like, damn, maybe both these guys are onto something. And then everything kind of erupted, and I guess what really got me was the lack of like we like as nationwide, like we don't really know what's going on. We're trying to deal with something that's new to us, so it's just hard. So yeah, you just assume that everyone higher up is really competent. You're like, someone's gonna sort it out, but competency comes out of experience with something. So do you know what I mean?
And then there are people like the people at my school, for example, and then some of the other people that I've seen where they're like, oh, it's just the flu, or even I'm going to be fine if I get it. It's like, oh my God, why would you risk yourself to that? Because it's like, okay, even if you're fine, if you get it, you could give it to 100 other people. It's like, that's the problem. That's
what
problem.
That's it. Yeah, like my friend,
exactly.
yeah, like my friend's friends, they went away somewhere, and they had like the symptoms, like, you know, coughs and stuff like that, and they were just like, they didn't get tested or anything because they were like, it's fine, it's whatever. But I was kind of annoyed because like it's not about them being ill, it's just about like spreading it, and also you don't even just spreading it. Yeah, like that is the real problem. So
exactly.
Yeah, people
and
kind of.
You never know, like who you may influence. Like there's people that are obviously a lot more sensitive to the virus and more susceptible to death. Yeah. You don't know. You know, if you just spread it to someone who maybe lives with older people.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, you know. So,
and it's exactly, and it's underlying health problems. So I have asthma, so I don't even know how it would affect me. Leon, I think you.
It's respiratory, so.
Yeah, you're fucked. Like I don't. Yeah, exactly. So like I don't know what would happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I always get some sort of respiratory thing this time of the year. I had the flu a few weeks back. You know, I always get a cough after I get sick for.
Yeah, me too.
For months, it's terrible. Yeah. I have a really bad respiratory.
Yeah. It was the same for me, and I went in. It was the same for me, and I went in, and the nurse said, "Oh, you have asthma. That's what." Like it's a response to you being like, it's kind of an overreactive immune response kind of thing. So
I live with dogs as well, and like I'm allergic to one of them. So when I like touch his fur or his fur gets on my clothes, I have an asthma attack. So if I get coronavirus and then like anything happens like that with my dog, then I'm so dead, bro. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you've been sick, Lisa.
Benjamin's asking if us getting like respiratory. Wait, do you mean? Could you clarify?
We're probably more.
Yeah, I think he's right on the money right there. I think what he means is the feelings and symptoms of being sick more intense for people that are energy dominant. It's like,
I complain way too much.
I feel a little bit sick. I'm not going to go to work.
Oh my God. Yeah, you just honestly, that's our savior state.
Yeah, that's just how it is. The health.
The health concerns. Checking in with like body and mind. What's going on? What's going on over here? What's going on over here? What's going on over here? You know?
Yeah, man. That's our favorite.
Why don't you tell us what's going on down there, Jono? That's right. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
moving on.
So then January 21st, 22nd, 23rd, they're freaking out. On the 23rd, Chinese officials close off Wuhan, the center of the epidemic. Too late. Miami University reports 2 students who had recently traveled to China were in self-quarantine because they were suspected to have the coronavirus. On the 30th, CDC confirms first person-to-person spread of coronavirus between a couple in Illinois. They had visited Cleveland recently. The same day, the World Health Organization declares a public health emergency of international concern. Skipping a bit ahead here. On the 14th, first death in Europe reported in France. Italy suffers surge in cases in northern Italy. In response, the government begins quarantining cities. See, that's the interesting case of Italy, and the exact thing that I was worried about. I just didn't expect it to happen so fast in Italy, where they went from having 1 or 2 cases to maybe 10. They went from, maybe like less than 10 cases to the worst case outside of China, literally overnight. So, that's just how it is. It's not like, oh, that's an Italy thing. That's a fucking virus thing.
Yo, can I throw in a random fun fact I just remembered? Yesterday, my girlfriend, she's a nurse. She was showing me the prices that nurses are like getting bumped up to fly to places like California and all the places that are like highly populated with the coronavirus, and they're paying like an extra $1.5 grand or something for people to fly in just to like help people for that. Fun fact.
Bro, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And in the comments, if you guys know anybody with the virus or suspect to have the virus, please talk about it. We want to know.
The first case of American coronavirus community on the February 28th is community spread is found in California. That pretty much starts the whole California panic. And that was where the sort of store raiding started. In at least America, that was definitely happening in Italy already. But it's just a matter of time. You see these things, and I'll get into how sort of I predicted this so easily when we sort of go through the timeline, because I have some. Well, we'll get into that. On March 1st, so we're getting into this month's March, right? Yeah, okay.
My name's Jono.
On March 1st, the first U.S. death is reported in Washington State. On March 3rd, spectators will not be allowed at most of Arnold Classic, a massive sports festival in Columbus that pretty much starts the the whole sports event getting canceled, big events getting canceled and stuff. There have been a lot of gaming events. The NBA, no audience. There was recently in the news a few days ago how this one dude who tested positive for coronavirus, he went and touched all of the mics at the basketball game. He was a basketball player. So
what the hell?
Yeah, things like that,
intentionally? Was that intentional?
Intentional. Like, I don't think he spread it intentionally, because I don't think he knew that he had it. He tested positive after he did that, though. But it's like, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
It's the things that you're not like aware of. Like, just probably him doing that, he wasn't aware. Like, he was just masculine sensory touching. Like, I'm masculine sensory and I can't help but touch things. And I had to like consciously be like, don't do that. It's really weird.
There's this nasty guy at work who didn't wash his hands after he peed, and I was like cleaning the toilet next to him, and I totally called him out for it. I'm like, nah, bro, not now. Not now.
Yeah, that'd save your blast. That'd save your blast.
Yeah.
There's this really cool article, and they point out something quite interesting. They do kind of calculate it using the mortality rate and information about how long on average it takes for someone to die with corona. and if it happens, and they said basically using all of that, if you're one death today technically means there's 800 true cases today. So it's like there's a lot
what are you
of.
doing with the screen? Sorry.
Oh shit! It's because it goes to the live stream.
Okay, that's better.
So yeah, it's very scary just because like it is kind of hard to estimate how many true cases they are because the symptoms don't always show up. But yeah, so one death today also indicates like 800 true cases from that one person that died. And think it's kind of
Lisa said he got that the basketball player got the virus from his parents who travel, and that's exactly what I'm talking about with the incubation period. That's the point. It's like you can have it, not know it, and you just gave it to everyone.
Yeah,
to everyone.
Yeah.
What's the mortality rate like in young children?
It's really sparing. Young people, or children like under like 10 or something, like hundreds of deaths, like at most. Most of the deaths are happening, in adults, and people who have underlying health conditions. So maybe asthma. Sorry, Odom. Heart disease, especially because when you get sick. And you get sick very hard, like you do with the coronavirus, your heart has to work harder. And if you have a weak heart, it's going to blow. It's going to explode. Alias Pending said, stop drinking Corona. I don't know why anyone would drink the coronavirus.
No one I know is drinking coronavirus. Like,
probably a stupid EP right now. No,
shit.
It just doesn't make sense to even touch coronas themselves because I believe that they are infected.
Hi, boys. The Italy death count, Fred2 says, the Italy death count has a large aging population, skewed fatality figures.
That's Fred2. Fred 1 is first.
Prominently. So the problem isn't that, you're going to – the problem isn't that the majority of people are going to die. That's not the problem. The problem is that the majority of people are going to get it, and the majority of people who have underlying health conditions are going to die. That's the thing. We don't want to give it to the people who are most at risk for dying, like our parents who have, maybe they're obese, or just most of America. We don't want to give it to our grandparents. I have a 72 or something year old grandma here. I don't want to get the virus. I don't want anyone to get the virus because if one of us in the house has the virus, she's dead. She's actually dead. So it's like that's the major concern here. That all the boomers are going to die.
Is that a huge problem?
No comment on that one, guys. My parents watch the show, man. Chill. No, I'm just kidding.
God bless you.
That was a joke, just for clarity's sake.
That was a joke.
For all you tribe folks out there, we just kidding. We're just kidding.
Okay. So on March 4th, you can share my screen again. On March 4th, recruitment begins for coronavirus vaccine trials in Seattle. Now, talking about the vaccines aren't – there's actually – okay, first of all, this is terribly sad, but also kind of funny and ironic. They were testing the vaccines, and they gave this – because they were testing the vaccine on kids because the kids aren't going to die if it goes wrong. But the kid – they gave the kid coronavirus – by testing the vaccine on him. So it's funny because it's ironic, but it's actually fucking terrible.
Dude, for real, stay away from vaccines. They vax all the way. Serious.
Okay.
They had to
Let's not be retarded and anti-vax when we're talking about it.
Also, they confirmed that dogs do not get the corona. You have to quarantine them, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with bitches. So that's the answer.
And the second thing, the more serious thing, is that the vaccine is it's going to take a long time, at the least several months, because that's just how long vaccines take to get past it. Because you have to do proper testing. You have to make sure that you're not going to fuck up and give the person the virus. There's lots of details you have to account for, and it just takes that long. So the best cure is prevention.
Yes.
And
just quickly the Italians thing, like this, like they do the double kiss thing. It's like you have some Corona, a little bit more Corona, have a third Corona.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, sorry, I can't do this without making fun of everything. But no, yes, Italians are much more touchy-feely, obviously, which is nice. That's
yes.
a beautiful.
I would know.
Yeah.
Yes, you would know.
You would know. Carbone.
Arabs do 3 kisses. So do Dutch. The Dutch do 3 as well. Corona 1, Corona 2, Corona 3.
Carbone. Come on,
so you're
guys.
3 times more likely to get it in a touchy-feely country.
All right. On March 11th, so that's 3 days ago, the WHO declares coronavirus a pandemic. Finally, they should have done that at fucking February 1st. Ohio confirms its 4th case of coronavirus, so everyone in Ohio has it. St. Patrick's Day's parade and Cleveland International Film Festival are canceled.
Wow.
Now, really important thing. President Donald Trump announces further restrictions, including temporary barring travel from Europe. Mm-hmm. And that pretty much takes us to the present, pretty much. Yeah. So getting into how I sort of knew, basically the instant it got outside of China, that it was going to go everywhere outside of China and infect everyone, was because I was actually watching China for the protests. I was watching the protests. And then this virus comes out. And I'm like, it's just the fucking flu. Who gives a shit? But then you wait a week, and then all of a sudden there's no more protests. People are dying. The Chinese people are panicking. The people who talk to the people in China, they're like, shit's going down. You see the videos are coming out. No one's outside, and then you see some of the people dropping dead. And so that was like a really big red flag. I'm like, okay. And then the news comes out that the COVID-19 was inside a research facility and it got leaked due to basically poor handling. I thought that was very suspicious. I'm like, oh, so there's a protest happening and a virus gets leaked, and now there's no more protests. Interesting. And then it gets spread outside of China because the Chinese didn't want to make the virus the virus spreading public, though it did come out in the within the.
Really? So is that actually factual that they didn't try to cover it up? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it had been there for a long while, and the Chinese really only reported it when it was obvious and everyone else started coming at them. And China's like, okay, yeah, this is a thing. And so, it gets outside, right? It gets into the U.S. A week goes by. This is some NBS.
Yeah, he's calling you out, bro.
It is, but I saw it coming, and I'm actually prepared. So I don't know if NBS miss. Let me find the comment. I've been sick for almost 2 weeks, and now I'm running out of toilet paper, and I'm scared of spreading it, but I'm going to have to leave my house eventually. I'm just saying. So getting back on track, it spreads outside the U.S., and I am very my primary focus isn't actually like OP or anything. It's economics and finance. So I am basically watching all through this. Like politics just kind of comes in peripherally through that, and psychology is related but completely different interest. Related but completely different. That's also some NEBS. So I'm sort of watching all of these things, and I have these different frames to sort of monitor these through. And it comes into the US, and I'm like, okay, we're going to start a recession now. And it wasn't just me saying that. It was all of the people. Like, I was saying that internally, but I'm not going to like fear monger because nobody listens to me. So who gives a shit? I'm just the crazy loony, right? So I'm not saying anything. But then the few people inside of that community who actually know what they're talking about, they start saying that too. And I'm like, interesting. And then, all the stock market drops. So There's new comments. Is this? I said, is this not? It is.
Yeah, she was saying, is this some
That's
NEBS?
some NEBS right there on my part. Sorry. Anyway.
You need to get your sensory right before you start.
I do, man. I do. Maybe everything I've said thus far is just incorrect.
Maybe.
So I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, this is going to trigger the recession, and because we're overbloated. You know, most of our economic productivity comes from service-based stuff, because we moved. All of the basic things like manufacturing and things are outsourced to China. And on a side note, China actually bragged about how they could not give us basically some of the medicine and supplies that we really needed in the U.S.
Bragged.
So yeah, they bragged, but that's what China does. And so I sort of knew this was coming, and I knew that you're hurting my NI, man. Because hop on board my NE with your NI. Just vibrate at my frequency and merge with you. Mine with me, dude.
You broke Benjamin's boner, bro. Chill.
And so I thought it was very convenient, because at first I thought that it was just them releasing the virus to stop the protests. But then it's like, wait, if they genetically engineered this, right? And this is some observer talk. I'm not going to go out and sit there and say I know this to be a fact. I'm just saying it makes sense to me. If they engineered it, right? And then they were silent so as to let it spread, because they knew it was there, but they didn't ban air travel in Wuhan or anything. They let it spread. So they let it spread. They let it get to the world, right? U.S. is still number one superpower, but China is number two, right? U.S. gets into an economic recession, right? And then China, because they have the authoritative means to just stop the virus by literally barricading everyone indoors, the virus stops spreading. They do that. They wait it out 3 months, and then they rise and become the number one superpower.
That's the better way to do it.
That's the better way to do it. And the whole time it's blamed on, it's a virus. But see, the thing is, right, the U.S. is in a sticky situation, because now the U.S. has to basically save face at this point, all of the government officials. So they can't say, this is our fault, or, the economy was mismanaged or whatever. It's not like anything like that. They're not going to say that. They're going to say it's a virus. The virus triggered it. It's like, no, it was just time. It was just time for it to happen, and something was going to set it off. And this was obviously going to be the thing that set it off. So yeah, that's how I knew. I was watching this very closely. So funny side note. The instant that it got into the U.S., I told my masculine SE friend about it so that he could keep up with the news instead of me, because the instant it came into the U.S. or Texas, like the hour it came out in Texas, I went to the store with my mom and got I got all the toilet paper. So,
you were the first. You were the OG. You started the trend.
I'm the trend center. My feelings are hurt about you throwing my lack of toilet paper back in my face. I had enough for 2 weeks because I like to prepare, but I'm a minimalist. Sorry.
Dude, that's your demon FE, man. Just hurting feelings.
Sorry, man.
But
I know, man. I'm such an asshole. I'm sorry, Lisa. But I told my SE friends about it, because at that point I'd already basically prepared, because I was already watching for it, and I knew the things that would set off my blast to actually go out and do it, just immediately. And so that they could monitor and spread the information, because that's what fucking he's SETI masculine. So he's gonna put it in our group chats and shit, all of the just reporting like he does. And
ST reporting,
dude, I gotta love it, man. He keeps me informed.
I love ST.
Who needs the news,
I was like, bro, 3 months of keeping up with this shit, man. You worry about it now. Not my problem.
I need to replace all my intuitive friends with ST friends. You guys are bringing me down, man.
Dude, I know, man. Dude, we just don't have enough ST. Dude, because we don't have enough sensory, man. We don't have like I have 2 S's in my name, but they actually cancel out.
The SE and the SE in reverse,
they cancel
each other.
Two SEs.
Yeah, I actually don't have any SE.
I don't have any S in my name.
But if I don't have SE, that means I'm not going to gather the virus. So that's also a strength on my part.
I have S in my name if you're using my name to label something of mine, like Jonathan, like drink bottle. There's an S there. All right. Let's reel it back in.
Too much NE. Moving on to what not to do. Okay.
Yes. What do we not want to do?
We do not want to panic.
We not want to do.
We don't want to panic, and how we not panic is by preparing. Said every EP ever, but it's true. I prepared. I was keeping up with it, and I'm prepared, so I'm not panicking because I'm set. I'm golden. But all the people
how are you preparing
toilet paper, right, out of nowhere because they're dumb, and they don't know what else to buy, like food maybe. They are panicking, and that's why they're making terrible decisions because they're not prepared. They weren't prepared, And people who don't have savings to not go to work and to then also pay their bills, they're panicking. Yeah, and people who have lots of debt and who are going to not go to work and then also pay their debt at the same time, and then they don't have savings because they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they're in debt because they have terrible financial responsibility, like most people everywhere in the world, they're fucked, and they're going to be panicked because they're not prepared. And so the thing is, you have to be prepared. You have to.
So take us through what preparing looks like. Give us some examples. Okay. How are you prepared?
I prepared by getting some. Basically, I am. We have enough supplies in my house. There's 6 of us. Wait, is there 6? I think there's 5 of us, and so.
What are their names?
We have enough supplies for all of us to wait out for over a month, without it getting too, too crazy. To like, holy shit, we're rationing all the meals. I only eat 1 meal a day, so that's a really nice. That's not as much strain on the supplies. But my sister's a fucking fat ass, so it kind of balances out. But we have enough food. We have enough toilet paper. We bought cleaning supplies. We bought gloves. I even thought, I'm like, okay, on the off chance that someone in the family contracts the virus, we need to have a designated quarantine spot. Basically a shut up and fuck you, leave us alone spot, and don't give us the virus spot. And I would hand sanitizer, cleaning supplies, the disinfectant wipes, the Lysol spray, goggles. We don't have goggles. You should get goggles. There are you should get if you really want to go all in on it.
Hazmat suit. Just get a hazmat suit.
Yes, whatever the medical hazmat suit is with the gloves, and then either you could at the openings where your hands and feet are, you could either get rubber bands or whatever, or duct tape it. Respirators are useful because it's going to be spread through air. Breathing is sometimes enough to do it, but it's going to be mainly coughing and sneezing, things like that.
Also, fun fact, the virus survives for up to 9 days on different surfaces such as metals, ceramics, and plastics. So yeah, I gotta wipe down and stuff with anti-bac wipes and stuff.
I actually didn't know that. I thought it was just a few hours, but I thought it was just a few hours. So long ago when I had accounted for that error. Yeah. So I'm glad I didn't trust the sensory on that shit. Oh my god.
What if I bleach everything and then just let it air out of my house for a little bit, like everything?
Bleach your hair. I want to see you with blonde hair, blonde eyebrows, and blonde beard.
Not that.
Okay.
You only need to bleach out what you touch, so like doorknobs.
Yeah.
Just like the surfaces you would touch, not like the wall.
Bleach your knob. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
Yeah. You really wanna avoid people. You know, stay far away. You know, outside of sneezing range, close quarters combat. You know, coughing range. If somebody coughs, give them the stinky eye, especially.
Dude,
and then
some chick coughed straight in my mouth at work yesterday. I was so pissed.
Straight into your mouth.
Yes,
that
and she was doing the back extension things, and she goes, like right as she came straight up, and I was like, oh my, I'm so pissed off because I took like a big old breath because I was like tired. I was like, and she just coughed straight in my face, man. I was so mad.
Consumed it, dude. You just demon consumed.
Yeah, and there's this one guy who loves hugging me for some reason when he sees me at work. He's a nice dude. Probably like ENFJ or something.
Yeah, I'm just telling you can't hug me.
Yeah, it's gonna break my heart telling him that, but
because you like it though with your double masculine.
I need a hug at work, homie. Like,
yeah,
you want to hug me?
I'll give you a hug now, man. Come here. I'll give you a hug.
And if you're bored, we can talk about your social problems on another live stream, maybe after this.
Excuse me.
Okay, so we've talked about what we can do to prepare. Toilet paper is still in dire need.
Yeah.
You can always like
supermarkets.
You can always wash yourself instead of using toilet paper, like they do in loads of different countries.
Like a bidet.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah,
Asees has a bidet.
I have a bidet.
Dude, I know that thing.
Squirt the butt. Wash it off.
I take it all up the butt, dude. Dude, I'm so sorry, Alias. My mom won't hug me anymore. My mom won't stop hugging me anymore. So, everyone has their demons, I guess. But on the topic of maintaining social distance, there is this thing, if you want to share my screen again.
Don't go to places that have more than 400 or 500 people.
Yeah, just be a consume, sleep, blast, last. This is actually evolution at play. But flattening a pandemic's curve, can you see my screen? Why staying home now can save lives. So this is a graph. It's not to scale. It's basically a projection. It's to communicate an idea. So the y-axis is the number of cases present, and then the x-axis is the time since the first case. So this yellow, orange, peach color bell curve is going to it's taller, so it's going to show a higher congregation in terms of time period of cases. So lots of cases are happening at once. Whereas this one, the blue one here, it's flatter, it's more spread out. So the cases are sort of trickling in. What are they trickling into? They're trickling into the healthcare system. Now it's important because we don't want to overwhelm the healthcare infrastructure that we have at any of our countries. Most of us aren't in the Asian countries, so we're pretty much fucked. But we wanted to make it this curve instead of this curve because everyone here above that line is like sextuple fucked.
Yeah, because at that point there's not even the resources. Like people's lives will be decided. Like
and not only that, is the resources are also declining because the more people rush to get to like medical attention, the more chances there are of people who actually work in that field getting the virus.
Exactly. The stress, people will start dying from basic things. Like maybe you don't have it, maybe you're young, maybe you don't have any pre-existing conditions, but you still die because you don't have because you can't go to a hospital and get treated for basic things like excess fever, or you can't reduce your fever, you can't calm your heart down because it's working too fast. The basic things like the health infrastructure is great, but if you don't have access to it, you're going to die from the stupidest things.
Yeah. Benjamin asks, did you see the 3B 1B video?
3B 1B. 3 blue 1 brown, or is it the other way around? Yeah, I did see it. It was just the explanation of oh right, I want to show you guys something. But it was that video was basically the explanation of how logistic curves work and how coronavirus, the data on how the coronavirus has been spread. But it is a good topic to talk about. I will share that. I will share some of the statistics with you right now, as well as some resources on how to track it and stuff. On the topic of tracking it, make sure you guys are keeping up.
Benjamin called you out on the sensory, bro.
The exponent, the beginning of a logistic curve is exponential. But all exponential instances are logistic, and as they appear.
That ties back with that NE. It's all connected.
But yeah, he did talk about that, and I'm gonna pull up some of the statistics and talk about that for the people who did not see the video. But I do suggest everyone to watch that video. After this, it explains what I was talking about earlier with the curve, and I'm going to be talking about in a lot better and detailed format.
Yes, I was going to bring this up. It's amazing.
Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. Okay. So total confirmed.
You got the streamlined version. Yeah. Mobile version.
Yeah. I'm actually emulating my phone's operating system on my laptop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So that's actually, you could basically say that my shitty laptop has a fever right now because it's so hot. But you can see the total confirmed. You can see the total deaths. You can see the data. This is a linear chart, and this is a logistic chart. Basically, what you're going to see on a logistic chart is the linear progression of exponential growth compared to exponential over a linear method of displaying the data. But as you can see, mainland China is orange, yellow is other locations, and green is total recovered. The recovered is going up, which is great. I want it to go higher. I don't want the death rate to spike or anything. Mainland China is going down. I'm great that the communists figured it out. But the other locations, we're not going to be slowing down anytime soon.
Oh God!
If we don't,
this is going on for months.
Yeah, if we don't self quarantine, if we don't slow down the spread, it's gonna be like basically the next 6 months, like you were saying, Jono. It's gonna be you have to keep it at the front of your mind. But if we don't really get on this as a world, as a species, it's not going to we're not going to hit that inflection point of the logistic curve anytime soon. No. We have some further data, confirmed cases per region / country.
Italy,
if you guys are interested. See what I did there? Confirmed cases. Here's a map.
Australia's so far away. Still got it.
Yep. I think I don't know if Australia had it before we did here in America, but it happened sometime around the same time. But yeah when I checked this, when I was getting the supplies with my mom, maybe a month ago, I don't remember exactly. There were like 3 dots in America. It was like right here, and then in California, and then one in Texas, because that's what triggered me to go there. There were 3 dots, and there were none here. None here. 3 dots.
We should go to Greenland.
This was basically just as fucking weird right now. There was nothing here, and then there were like a little bit here.
Is that one in Uganda? Because that's like where I was in January.
Dude, maybe you have coronavirus.
Yep.
But then
I wonder if they're virus can survive the colder climates, like Greenland, like north.
Yeah, let's go to Greenland. I was gonna say that.
It's a good point, man.
Anyway, yeah. So
keep up with the news. Stay safe. Get the supplies so that you guys can wait it out. But don't get sick while everyone else going in shopping for the supplies.
And don't fight for supplies either.
Don't fight. No, that's gonna be
get a gun.
Yeah,
just get a gun.
Don't panic. There's a high percentage chance that you will get the virus. So just accept that it is a probability, and be cautious. Just keep sanitizing your hands. Wash your hands every time you enter a bathroom.
And when you leave.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thanks guys. Thanks Asees. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing amount of data.
Yeah.
Well organized.
Yes. And
everyone give Asees some validation for his essay.
Yes.
Lasting.
And Lisa has a point. Don't go out if you're sick.
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Exactly.
Thank you for reminding me to say that. I don't know if I said that, but self-quarantine if you feel like shit. I don't care if you're allergic and you know what it is. I don't care if you don't know what it is. I don't care if you don't know. Don't go. No, don't go out if you feel like shit. That's really the only thing you can do. Try.
Final note.
Die.
Final question. Given that we are a typology channel, what type do we think coronavirus is?
Oh my God!
Definitely some sort of SE. I would say first. You really want interaction with everyone, right?
Yes.
Maybe there's some sort of decider.
Maybe it's an NETI because you knew exactly where it would go and that it was coming here.
The only thing that this question reveals is our biases. Like that's it. Like there's
exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point of this question.
I'm not biased, so like I'm not gonna say anything.
Shut up. That was
you just revealed your bias.
My dog heard the coronavirus.
ESTP.
ESTP.
Agree.
You reckon play first ESTP. Out the FE, spreading out the love, going out there, just putting the hands out to the people.
I think the corona is savior T for sure.
Demon NI not knowing the cause of its effects. You know what I mean? Like
masculine sensory for sure.
Play not last. Yeah, that's true. Play definitely not last.
Probably energy dominant, right?
I would say yes.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to watch us talk about the coronavirus. It was fun.
We'll be live more.
Yeah, stay safe, guys.
Stay safe, guys. And peace out.
Peace out.
Wash your hands.
Masturbation increases your immune system.